Lie and R spoilers. Tessa is horrified to learn Mariah's criminal secret. Will she report it to the police? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of May 12 to 16 reveal that Kyle Abbott will spin out while Claire Newman and Victoria Newman face some awful news. Audra Charles will also plot a bold move, so here's what Y and R fans can expect. For starters, the hostility between Billy Abbott and Adam Newman could become a bigger problem if Adam goes through with doing Victor Newman's dirty work. Victor is adamant about using Newman media to drag Billy down, so Adam could cause Billy to strike back as a result. Of course, any move Adam makes against Billy will land him in hot water with Chelsea Lawson. And Sally Spectra obviously won't be happy either. Sally and Chelsea could end up doing some feuding, as well as the Abbott communications and Newman media drama heats up. Next, Kyle will spin out after Victor makes a power play against him. It'll leave Kyle in an angry tizzy, and that could be the perfect time for Audra to take her first real step toward Kyle's takedown. Victor is demanding to see some signs of progress before he'll give Audra the funding she needs for Vibrant. Will Audra prove she's well on her way to dirtying up Kyle's image and ultimately breaking up his romance with Claire? If Audra ever expects to get her new venture off the ground, she'd better do some brainstorming and make something happen. Victor expects Audra to get the ball rolling on whatever trap she's setting for Kyle, so she should get more daring and attempt to pull something off. Of course, Audra will have to be careful since Nate Hastings is already suspicious of her arrangement with Victor. The longer this partnership goes on, the more likely it becomes that Nate will figure out what Audra's secret mission is. Next, Tessa Porter may put Maria Copeland on the hot seat. At this point, Tessa has figured out that Mariah may have done something bad on her business trip, so she may back her wife into a difficult corner. Will Tessa push Mariah for the truth and prepare for the worst? It's looking more and more like Mariah cheated on Tessa while she was away, so we'll see if she blurts out a full confession sooner or later. Regardless of what Mariah spills, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will remain Tessa's confidant and a strong source of support. Across town, Cole Howard's test results seem poised to deliver a devastating blow. Will Cole find out he's dying? And if he does, will he tell Victoria and Claire his grim diagnosis right away? Whatever the case, Claire and Victoria should get some horrible updates eventually, so stay tuned for any grim predictions about Cole's tough road ahead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the week of May 12 to 16 will bring some tense scenes and plenty of emotional moments. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, May 7, reveals that Victor Newman will order Billy Abbott's public trashing, so Adam Newman will be forced to go against Chelsea Lawson's wishes. Let's talk about all the conflict that's brewing on Wednesday's I and R episode. At the GCAC, Damian Kane will inform Lily Winters that he sent word to Aristotle Dumas about her request for a meeting. However, Aristotle will want to know why Lily wants to meet and what she's after before he'll agree. Lily will want to make it known that she's protecting her family business, but Damian will think she's putting in a lot of effort when there's not even a credible threat. Damian will note that all they have to go on is Victor's claim about Aristotle going after Winters, and Lily's been burned by him before. Talk will eventually turn to Damian being nothing more than a figurehead with a salary, so Lily will urge him to quit and come work at Winters instead. Damian will have plenty of doubts and suspicions, but Lily will suspect he genuinely wants to earn her trust. After Lily calls Damian out for being attracted to her and wanting to know where this could lead, she'll suggest she'll get back in touch about the job offer. At Jibod, Billy Abbott will give Jack Abbott news about kicking Phyllis Summers to the curb and hiring Sally Spectra in her place. Although Jack will approve of Billy giving Phyllis the boot, he'll wonder if Sally has enough experience. and whether she can push back when needed against Billy. Billy will repeatedly defend Sally as the right choice, so Jack will respect that his brother's in charge of making decisions at Abbott Communications. The conversation will eventually shift to Billy's harsh reaction to Diane Jenkins Abbott's renovations, so Billy will explain why he doesn't feel John Abbott's presence in the house anymore. Jack will see that Billy's struggling with some genuine emotions about it, so he'll offer a reminder that they'll always carry John in their hearts. Billy will understand that and will vow to apologize for Diane for his unexpected reaction later. Next, Billy will discuss his upcoming meeting with Aristotle Dumas, which keeps getting pushed back. Jack will worry that Aristotle is stringing Billy along and will have concerns about Billy's desire to get revenge over what happened at Chancellor. Billy will snap at Jack for giving Nikki Newman a pass and will basically act like his brother's a hypocrite. After all, Jack isn't usually one to back down from a fight with Victor, so Billy won't see why he should either. At the office, Chelsea will join Adam as they kick off their new work partnership. However, Chelsea will have some worries about this turning into an ugly feud between Newman Media and Abbott Communications. As Chelsea seeks assurance that Newman Media will be used as a positive force and not a vengeful tool, Victor will pop up. After Victor suggests it looks like Chelsea's keeping Adam on his toes, he'll claim he's there to welcome Chelsea to the company. Once Chelsea steps out, Victor will make it clear to Adam that Newman Media will indeed have to be used against their enemies. As Victor voices concerns about Aristotle Dumas, he'll explain that he wants Adam to put out media coverage, highlighting Chancellor's success under Nikki's leadership and trashing Billy for his previous incompetence. Adam will wonder if they really have to include Billy, but Victor will insist on it since Aristotle has set up a meeting with Billy. It'll leave Adam wondering why someone like Aristotle would want to meet with an idiot like Billy, so Victor will push him to convey that in his coverage. Victor will basically warn that Adam will have to rethink his partnership with Chelsea if she can't get on board, but Adam will make a prediction about being able to handle this. Later, Chelsea will reconvene with Adam and wonder what his meeting with Victor was about. Since Adam won't want to lie to Chelsea anymore, he'll come clean about Victor's plan and suggest he's about to have his first professional disagreement with Chelsea. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that the show's got a big exit problem that needs a solution. Here's why Summer Newman's plane needs to crash on her way home from Milan. Alison Lanier's final episode aired on May 2 and left Summer's storyline in an awkward place. Summer took off for Italy since she needed to find summer placements for Sally Spectra and Chelsea Lawson, but how long can that realistically keep her busy? It's not like Summer's search for qualified applicants is going to take months and months of her time. Plus, it doesn't make sense for Summer to want to stay away from Harrison Abbott for longer than absolutely necessary. Summer's Milan trip was fine as a temporary solution, but there ultimately needs to be a better explanation for her time off canvas. Sources told Sode that there are no immediate plans to recast the role, though that could obviously change somewhere down the line. With all that in mind, we should consider how Lai and R will handle Summer's lengthy absence. What happens when this Italy trip excuse just doesn't add up anymore? After all, Summer asked Kyle Abbott to wait until she got back to break the news to Harrison about his decision to live with Claire Newman. It's clear that Summer's expecting to come home soon enough, but what might prevent her from doing that? Summer may have her flaws, but she's definitely a devoted mother. There's no way Summer would just abandon Harrison indefinitely, so there'll have to be some sort of excuse to keep her out of the picture. Perhaps Summer's flight back to Genoa City could go horribly wrong and leave her loved ones fearing the worst. Summer's plane could go missing before it's ultimately determined that it crashed, and there are no signs of survivors. It might be assumed that Summer perished in the wreckage, but it'd be a great setup for a recast Summer to show up alive down the road. Summer might end up recovering with amnesia somewhere and set the stage for a soapy resurrection. just when Harrison has embraced Claire as his new mommy, Summer could come back home and give everyone a shock. Maybe losing Summer could even shake up Kyle's world and make him want a romantic reunion with her when she returns. Whatever the case, Summer's Melon trip can't last forever. So could a plane crash on the way back to GC become a possible solution? Despite Summer's predictions about being home soon, her friends and family members could face a tough blow. May 7 marks the 35th anniversary of Victoria Rowell's debut as Drusilla Barber on The Young and the Restless, and is the ideal date for the much-missed actress to make a surprise return to the soap. How? Simple. Reveal that Damian Kane's mysterious boss is less Aristotle Dumas than Ariane Dumas, and the gender flip has been just another level to the power player's charade. Imagine the shockwaves that would ripple through the audience if Damian finally ushered Lily Winters into a meeting with Dumas. The tycoon's chair swivels around, and Lily finds herself face to face with her mother. "You weren't expecting a woman, were you?" Drusilla asks. "I wasn't expecting," Lily replies. In short order, viewers would learn that, following Drew's fatal tumble from a cliff in 2007, she drifted downriver, far downriver. When she was rescued, she had no ID and no idea who she was. But being the born survivor that she is, she spent years rebuilding a life and reinventing herself, first as a small business owner, then as an extremely big business owner. Back in Genoa City, Drew would be faced with the daunting task of putting together the pieces of a past she doesn't remember: her love for late husband Neil Winters, her tight bond with her children. We understand that a comeback for Rowell is the longest of long shots, given the actress' since-settled lawsuit alleging that she wasn't considered for rehiring based on her advocacy on behalf of African Americans, both on screen and behind the scenes. But she seems to still be willing to return. In fact, in 2020, she told Soaps.com that Drew never died. What happened to her was left nebulous and open-ended. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, May 8, reveal that Sally Spectra will tackle a crisis while Billy Abbott's anger erupts. Lily Winters will also launch some family drama, so let's talk about what's ahead in Genoa City. First, on Thursday's I and R episode, Damian Kane will mull over Lily's suggestion about him ditching Aristotle Dumas to come work at Winters instead. After Damian updates Holden Novak on the offer, it'll set off some alarm bells. Holden will no doubt wonder what'll happen to his own position if Damian quits working for Aristotle. Damian might think he can talk Lily into bringing Holden on board too, but Holden won't be so sure Lily can be trusted. The same goes for Lily's family, so Holden will definitely warn Damian to proceed with caution. Speaking of Lily's family, she'll launch plenty of drama now that she's proposed this potential job to Damian without Devin Winters' approval. Devin will presumably pump the brakes and act like it's a bad idea to bring an untrustworthy outsider into the mix. Of course, Lily will think walking away from Aristotle would help prove Damian's not caught up in all the shadiness. Nate Hastings should be all for making Damian part of Winters as well, so Devin will feel outnumbered here. In the end, will Lily and Nate convince Devin to make this job offer official? Lily will hope to take concrete details back to Damian, so we'll see if Devin caves in. Over with Victor Newman, he'll manage to get under Billy's skin. Victor might drop some hints about the media firestorm he's planning and how Adam Newman's going to drag Billy's name through the mud. Even if Victor doesn't get that specific, he could at least make a prediction about Newman Media crushing Abbott Communications. Victor might gloat about Adam selecting Chelsea Lawson as his right-hand woman and provoke Billy's fury. Whatever the case, Sally will have a crisis to tackle and will basically face her first test when it comes to reining in Billy at the company. Perhaps Sally will have to cool Billy down and ensure he doesn't make any impulsive moves that could stir the pot even further. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that girl power is rising on the CBS soap. so 4 women are about to set Genoa City on fire. Some female characters are going to take center stage with some fierce moves and daring strategies, so let's talk about them. Amanda Sinclair's return is rapidly approaching, so look for her to blow back into GC and make a huge splash. I and our fans will definitely see Amanda in lawyer mode, so she'll play a key role in any legal loopholes and courtroom drama on the horizon. Amanda has proven she's the best in the biz when it comes to her attorney skills. It's just a matter of who Amanda will be loyal to, and who'll face the crushing taste of defeat once she's part of the action again. If there's one thing we know about Phyllis Summers, it's that she can hold a grudge. Now that Phyllis has vowed to get the last laugh, Billy Abbott and Sally Spectra no doubt have some chaos headed their way. Phyllis may throw herself into this new vengeful mission in the coming weeks and stir up some trouble. This payback purpose could be what pulls Phyllis out of her funk and gives her a chance to show off her fierceness once more. As for Lily Winters, she's on a mission of her own, one that involves exposing Aristotle Dumas' agenda and protecting her family's company. Lily intends to do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of Aristotle's true intentions, so she'll have a few tricks up her sleeve. It'll be fun to see Lily explore her sneaky side and become even more of a key player in this storyline. Meanwhile, Claire Newman may decide she's done playing the good girl. Audra Charles is targeting Claire and Kyle Abbott's relationship on Victor Newman's orders, but she's not going to get away with it. Sooner or later, Claire will figure out what's really going on, and when she does, she may unleash her wrath in a big way. My and our viewers saw a glimpse of what Claire is capable of when she first came on the show and carried out Jordan's scheme against the Newmans. A little bit of that Claire could come back into play once Audra and Victor's plot gets exposed, so stay tuned for any vengeful predictions she might make. The Young and the Restless recap for Wednesday, May 7, reveals that Victor Newman will order Billy Abbott's public trashing, so Adam Newman will be forced to go against Chelsea Lawson's wishes. Let's talk about all the conflict that's brewing on Wednesday's I and R episode. At the GCAC, Damian Kane will inform Lily Winters that he sent word to Aristotle Dumas about her request for a meeting. However, Aristotle will want to know why Lily wants to meet and what she's after before he'll agree. Lily will want to make it known that she's protecting her family business, but Damian will think she's putting in a lot of effort when there's not even a credible threat. Damian will note that all they have to go on is Victor's claim about Aristotle going after Winters, and Lily's been burned by him before. Talk will eventually turn to Damian being nothing more than a figurehead with a salary, so Lily will urge him to quit and come work at Winters instead. Damian will have plenty of doubts and suspicions, but Lily will suspect he genuinely wants to earn her trust. After Lily calls Damian out for being attracted to her and wanting to know where this could lead, she'll suggest she'll get back in touch about the job offer. At Jabot, Billy Abbott will give Jack Abbott news about kicking Phyllis Summers to the curb and hiring Sally Spectra in her place. Although Jack will approve of Billy giving Phyllis the boot, he'll wonder if Sally has enough experience and whether she can push back when needed against Billy. Billy will repeatedly defend Sally as the right choice, so Jack will respect that his brother's in charge of making decisions at Abbott Communications. The conversation will eventually shift to Billy's harsh reaction to Diane Jenkins Abbott's renovations, so Billy will explain why he doesn't feel John Abbott's presence in the house anymore. Jack will see that Billy's struggling with some genuine emotions about it, so he'll offer a reminder that they'll always carry John in their hearts. Billy will understand that and will vow to apologize for Diane for his unexpected reaction later. Next, Billy will discuss his upcoming meeting with Aristotle Dumas, which keeps getting pushed back. Jack will worry that Aristotle is stringing Billy along and will have concerns about Billy's desire to get revenge over what happened at Chancellor. Billy will snap at Jack for giving Nikki Newman a pass and will basically act like his brother's a hypocrite. After all, Jack isn't usually one to back down from a fight with Victor, so Billy won't see why he should either. At the office, Chelsea will join Adam as they kick off their new work partnership. However, Chelsea will have some worries about this turning into an ugly feud between Newman Media and Abbott Communications. As Chelsea seeks assurance that Newman Media will be used as a positive force and not a vengeful tool, Victor will pop up. After Victor suggests it looks like Chelsea's keeping Adam on his toes, he'll claim he's there to welcome Chelsea to the company. Once Chelsea steps out, Victor will make it clear to Adam that Newman Media will indeed have to be used against their enemies. As Victor voices concerns about Aristotle Dumas, he'll explain that he wants Adam to put out media coverage, highlighting Chancellor's success under Nikki's leadership and trashing Billy for his previous incompetence. Adam will wonder if they really have to include Billy, but Victor will insist on it since Aristotle has set up a meeting with Billy. It'll leave Adam wondering why someone like Aristotle would want to meet with an idiot like Billy, so Victor will push him to convey that in his coverage. Victor will basically warn that Adam will have to rethink his partnership with Chelsea if she can't get on board, but Adam will make a prediction about being able to handle this. Later, Chelsea will reconvene with Adam and wonder what his meeting with Victor was about. Since Adam won't want to lie to Chelsea anymore, he'll come clean about Victor's plan and suggest he's about to have his first professional disagreement with Chelsea. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, May 6 tease that Tessa Porter is concerned, Diane Jenkins Abbott's update infuriates Jack Abbott, and Victoria Newman has news for her brother Nick Newman. Jack sees Diane looking morose and wants to know what's going on. Diane tells him about Billy Abbott's thumbs-down assessment of her Abbott mansion redo. He was polite, but direct in how he didn't like her renovations. His distaste is in contrast to everyone else loving the makeover. Diane actually looked wounded when he delivered his verdict, but in the end, it's just some furniture and wallpaper, right? After the negative review, will Diane doubt herself and wonder if she should have left the Abbott house the way it was? It's easy to forget all the positives when there's one negative, and that happens to Diane. Jack assures Diane that her work is brilliant and he loves it. But he also is angry at Billy for raining on his wife's parade. Look for Jack to seek out his younger brother and demand he apologize to Diane. We predict that Billy won't like this demand one bit. Elsewhere, Victoria tells Nick about something that is bugging her. There are a couple of things going on in her life at the moment. Claire Newman is moving in with Kyle Abbott, and Cole Howard is not well. Victoria and Cole are waiting to hear about his test results, and it's possible that the news is not good. Speaking of ungood news, Tessa is worried about how her wife Maria Copeland is acting. Maria is guilty about the unmentionable thing she did on her business trip, and we think we know what that was. She isn't saying, and poor Tessa is worried. Fans are sure that Mariah cheated on Tessa, but is there another dilemma in play? At the same time that Maria is pulling away from Tessa, Daniel Romalotti is leaning in. What exactly is going on between these two? Tell us what you think about Tessa and Daniel's sudden friendship, Y and R fans. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Y and R right now. On The Young and the Restless today, Nick met with his sister at Crimson Lights and told her about his trip to London. When Victoria was sure her prediction about Nick and Sharon reuniting came true, Nick dropped a bomb on her. Victoria met with her brother, Nick Newman, at Crimson Lights today on The Young and the Restless. The pair needed to catch up as Nick had been away in London with Sharon, their daughter Faith, and his son Christian. Victoria had been somewhat surprised that Nick was going out of town with his ex. Sharon's drama had been going on for a very long time, and it had culminated in plenty of dangerous situations for Sharon and all those near her. Victoria could understand that they all needed a break, but had hoped that they would have taken a rest from one another. Nick thought it was a good idea for them to visit their son and take a family vacation, but he was pretty clear that it wasn't a romantic trip, and wouldn't become one. When Nick was talking, Victoria surmised that her prediction had been correct. Nick and Sharon reunited while they were away. Nick's tone turned somber, and he admitted that there was something he needed to tell his sister. Nick told Victoria that he had done more than reunite with Sharon, but that this wasn't how he wanted her to find out. "We didn't just reunite, we got married," Nick shared. Victoria was stunned. Nick told his sister that it seemed the obvious choice. Nick pointed out that he and Sharon had known each other and been together for most of their adult lives. Dating seemed pointless. When you know someone as well as they know each other, going on some dates didn't seem necessary, so they eloped. Victoria was speechless as Nick described the wedding, and he noted that the timing was right. Their kids were there, Faith was Sharon's maid of honor, and Noel was his best man. As Nick continued that they were wed at Buckingham Palace, and the guards were serenading them, Victoria looked confused, but then it struck her. So gullible, Nick chuckled. Victoria couldn't believe she had fallen for another one of her jokester brother's pranks, but Nick laughed that it never got old. In a dramatic twist on The Young and the Restless, Adam Newman is confronted with a truth that shakes the very core of his identity as a father. Driven by suspicion, Adam secretly conducts a DNA test on his son Connor, only to uncover the possibility that he may not be Connor's biological father. This revelation triggers a personal and psychological crisis for Adam, who has poured unwavering love into raising the boy he believed was his own. As Adam grapples with this emotional shock, another front of conflict emerges, spearheaded by his father, Victor Newman. In a calculated move to assert dominance and settle old scores, Victor commands Adam and Chelsea to use Newman Media as a weapon against long-standing rival Billy Abbott and a new enigmatic figure, Aristotle Dumas. Victor's strategy is clear: dismantle his enemies while elevating the public image of Nicky Newman. Chelsea Lawson finds herself at the heart of a high-stakes moral dilemma. As Newman Media's newly appointed COO, she's pressured to join Victor's aggressive campaign. Yet her lingering emotional ties to Billy Abbott, the father of her child and a man from her complicated past, cast doubt on her ability to fully commit to Victor's plan. Her loyalty is tested as she must choose between personal history and professional allegiance. Meanwhile, Victor's power play reveals his intent not only to neutralize threats, but to test the loyalty of those closest to him. His insistence on absolute allegiance leaves little room for empathy, even toward his own children. Adam, torn between family loyalty and emotional turmoil, questions whether the path Victor has laid out is sustainable or even justifiable. The presence of Aristotle Dumas, a mysterious billionaire potentially tied to past Newman adversaries, further complicates the landscape. Victor views Dumas as a serious destabilizing force whose ambitions may go beyond corporate competition and into the realm of empire dismantling. Rumors swirl that Dumas may even be an alias for Kane Ashby, adding a layer of intrigue that intensifies the stakes. As Victor orchestrates a full-scale media offensive, Chelsea is forced to make an impossible choice: align with Victor to preserve her role at Newman Media, or defend Billy and risk her standing in the family. The decision threatens not just her career, but her relationship with her son, who remains a living connection to both men at war. Michael Baldwin begins investigating the emerging conflict, uncovering that the rivalry between Victor and Dumas is rooted in a deeper, older power struggle. The revelations from his probe could expose long-buried truths that alter Genoa City's balance of power permanently. In this unfolding storm of betrayal, strategic manipulation, and emotional conflict, the future of several major characters, Adam, Chelsea, Billy, and Victor, hangs in the balance. Chelsea must confront unresolved emotions and decide whether to defend her past or forge a new path within a family known for power plays and ruthless loyalty tests. In The Young and the Restless, the emotional foundation of Maria Copeland's life, begins to crumble after a devastating betrayal by the person she trusted most, Tessa Porter. Once a pillar of support and love, Tessa's infidelity with Daniel, a man Mariah once considered her closest friend, shatters Maria's confidence, triggering a dark emotional and psychological transformation. Initially grounded in trust and shared hardships, Mariah and Tessa's relationship had weathered many storms. Mariah believed their love was resilient, bound by mutual understanding and emotional transparency. However, subtle changes in Tessa's behavior, frequent absences, vague excuses, set off a chain of doubt. The truth emerged with brutal clarity: a one-night stand between Tessa and Daniel. The revelation left Mariah reeling, turning love into fury and vulnerability into obsession. Consumed by anger and disbelief, Mariah began to spiral. She questioned not only Tessa's loyalty, but also her own judgment and self-worth. Tessa's lack of remorse, paired with Daniel's betrayal, fueled a desire for retaliation. Mariah, once rational and composed, started contemplating extreme measures. Her descent into vengeful thinking marked a turning point, one where consequences became secondary to the satisfaction of emotional justice. Complicating the situation further is the reappearance of Ian Ward's influence. As Mariah reflects on her past, she realizes she may be following in the manipulative footsteps of the father she once revered. This connection casts doubt on her motives and actions. Is she avenging her broken heart or living up to a legacy of control and ruthlessness? Amidst this chaos, Mariah seeks solace from Sharon Newman, a trusted confidant. Their conversation reveals Mariah's inner turmoil. Unable to share the full scope of what happened, especially the hazy, alcohol-fueled business trip that might hold secrets of its own, Mariah is trapped in a cycle of guilt and confusion. Her self-image, once rooted in resilience, now flickers under the weight of emotional contradiction. Meanwhile, Tessa struggles with the consequences of her actions. Her brief involvement with Daniel has not only destroyed Mariah's trust, but also destabilized her own emotional compass. As she tries to reconnect with Mariah, every attempt is met with resistance. Mariah's perception of Tessa has shifted from trusted partner to traitor, an emotional chasm that words alone cannot bridge. This complex web of betrayal extends beyond personal heartbreak. As Mariah uncovers deeper secrets between Tessa and Daniel, what began as a romantic conflict morphs into a battle of power and psychological warfare. Mariah is no longer just reacting, she is calculating. Driven by hurt and disillusionment, she begins to lose sight of who she once was. The looming question remains: can Mariah reclaim her identity and move forward, or will she let anger consume her entirely? Can forgiveness be found in a sea of betrayal? The answers remain unclear, but one certainty prevails: nothing in Genoa City will be the same again. The emotional war between Mariah, Tessa, and Daniel is far from over, and the fallout is only beginning. Devon Hamilton Winters is happily married on The Young and the Restless. His portrayer, Bryton James, also has something to smile about in the romance department. The actor recently took to social media to share news about his love life and how proud he is of his new lady love's creative endeavors. What you're looking at is the culmination of a lifetime of work, discipline, dedication, strength, bravery, and belief that my love, Joshini Jahara Myers, continues to exude. James posted on Instagram, along with photos of Myers' recent dance performance. Her journey is what inspiration wants to be when it grows up, the actor continued. And I am beyond proud to be a witness to her art as we share this life together. James added a heart emoji at the end of his post. Sharing this life and this stage with you is the greatest gift. Myers responded in the comments section of James's post. Thank you for seeing me the way you do. While James's post officially takes his relationship with Myers public, the actor opened up about his romance with Myers back in February. My everything, he added to a photo of them. The two-word caption elicited many responses from James's followers. At least one wanted more details about the couple, while many felt that this was a case of an image speaking 1,000 words. "Yay, glad you have someone in your life. Congratulations to you both," wrote @Vansever and Tracy. James's pals from The Young and the Restless are weighing in with supportive comments about the couple on the actor's Instagram account. "Wow, how incredible! #power couple," wrote Carla Mosley. Amelia Heinel, Judah Mackey, and Don Diamond also expressed happiness over Brayton and Myers' relationship. One former cast member, Julia Pace Mitchell, witnessed Myers' artistry in person. "I was there, so dope," an enthusiastic Mitchell shared on James's social post. While the actor's love life is going great, there may be challenging times ahead for Devon. Michelle Morgan is set to reprise her role as Amanda Sinclair. Could her return somehow compromise Devon and Abby's happy life together? Stay tuned. In a gripping turn of events on The Young and the Restless, Victoria is thrust into emotional turmoil after stumbling upon a secretive and deeply troubling conversation between her husband Cole and their daughter Claire. The revelations not only shake her trust, but also redefine the very foundation of her family. From the outset, Victoria senses something is off with Cole. His increasingly erratic behavior and mysterious disappearances raise red flags, compounded by vague explanations and a troubling emotional distance. Suspicion deepens when whispers about Cole's health surface, rumors he consistently downplays. However, the real shock comes when Victoria uncovers the extent of his deception through a chance encounter at a remote house. Following Claire to a dilapidated property on the outskirts of town, Victoria witnesses a clandestine meeting between her daughter and Cole. Hidden in the shadows, she overhears a heated exchange. Claire confronts Cole about lying, specifically about a cancer diagnosis that may have never existed. Cole attempts to justify his dishonesty, citing a desire to avoid pity and maintain control over his life, but the damage is done. The situation worsens when Claire accuses him of lying not just to her, but to Victoria as well. As Victoria listens, it becomes apparent that Cole's secrets extend beyond his alleged illness. The dynamic between Cole and Claire is not that of father and daughter, but of co-conspirators. Claire's manipulation emerges as she reveals a calculated plan to integrate herself permanently into the Newman family. Her motives are strategic, not emotional. She is playing a long game of deception. Victoria is devastated as the truth unravels. Claire, whom she believed to be her daughter, is revealed to be playing a role, possibly for power or personal gain. Even more disturbing is the mention of Jordan, a mysterious figure tied to their plot. Claire insists their plan is not yet finished, resisting Cole's call to abandon the mission and return to New York. As Victoria processes the betrayal, the emotional weight becomes unbearable. The bond she believed she had with both Claire and Cole is exposed as a facade. Their argument escalates inside the house, while Victoria remains outside, frozen by the magnitude of the deceit. When she finally steps into view, her confrontation is calm but firm. "I know everything," she declares, putting an end to the lies. Victoria demands complete honesty, issuing a clear ultimatum: tell the truth or lose the Newman family forever. Her resolve is unwavering. Years of trust have crumbled, but she refuses to allow her family to be destroyed any further. The moment is pivotal, marking the beginning of a new chapter for Victoria, one driven by truth, strength, and the need for justice within her fractured household. This episode dives deep into themes of betrayal, identity, and the complexities of familial loyalty. As secrets are brought to light, The Young and the Restless sets the stage for a dramatic reckoning that will undoubtedly redefine the Newman family's future. Melissa Claire Egan had a special visitor on the Y&R set. Melissa Claire Egan usually has a busy day filming at The Young and the Restless, but in between tapings she loves to relax and have fun. On one particular day, she spent time with a very special visitor. Like many Y and R stars, Egan is always documenting the BTS action on set on social media. Last week was an interesting time for the star. She had to film 3 episodes in one day, which she managed to complete. Luckily, the next day was calmer for Egan, who brought a special guest to the studio. On her Instagram story, Egan revealed that her dad, Dennis, visited the set. "Take your dad to work day." The actress captioned a photo of her and her father hanging out in her dressing room. Father and daughter were all smiles as Egan prepped for a day of filming at Y&R. The star continued to share pictures of her dad's visit throughout the day. Later, Egan wore a black dress and posed for a photo with her dad before heading on set for filming. Dennis also got his picture taken with his daughter's co-stars, including Joshua Morrow. To cap off his visit, Egan snapped a pic of her father sitting on the Crimson Light set. It was a special day for Egan and her father, who got a glimpse at soap opera life. Egan remains one of Y&R's top actresses, and her character Chelsea is always front and center. Between Chelsea's reunion with Adam and her new job at Newman Media, there's going to be lots of drama. Whatever the writers have in store for her character, Egan will nail it with her performances.